Adina, you guys' hostess with the mostest and resident medium and crazy lady. Again, welcome. Happy Sunday. Happy day of the sun to all of you. I hope that you're well. And obviously, if you're here, you are pretty okay. Because if you weren't, you'd have better things to do than to be in my life. So happy Sunday. Happy day of the sun to all of you. If this is your first time here, I am a medium and a crazy lady. And so, if you are hostile to people like me, I welcome you to invite yourself out of this live. There will be no hard feelings to any views lost because of the woo that I do. But if you're curious, you're interested, or you're welcome and open to people like me, you're welcome to stay. And hello to all of my regular viewers and subscribers, my blessed babies. Happy Sunday. Hey, Jasmine. How are you this Sunday, honey? How are you this Sunday, honey? I am okay. I'm well. Thank you. Congratulations, just Sammy. But why are you thanking me? Samantha. Oh, congratulations. I told you you would. I told you you would. We shall thank the spirits together. Next time, if you drink, next time you have a libation and you take a sip, just take one for the spirits and just say thank you to the spirits. I am planning on doing an offering ceremony where there's nothing that I'll be asking for or anything like that. I'm just going to do a nice offering. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna do that sometime around the end of the year, the end of this year. Maybe New Year's Day, the calendar New Year. Maybe I'll do it then. Hey, Mama Tiara. I appreciate you too, Sammy. And I'm so excited for your new endeavor. I know you really were working towards getting that, and I'm so proud of you. So don't just thank me and the spirits. Be very proud of yourself as well for all your hard work paying off. Congratulations. Big boss driver. You finna be making that big money on. Hey, big money on. I know that's right. Hey, Robert. How are you guys this Sunday? I'm doing good, you guys. I buried my Uncle Ronnie. I would grab the obituary, but it's over there on the altar. He chilling with his wife, the aunt that passed away in February. Well, that was the wife to my uncle, and he passed away, and we buried him. And they asked me to sing a good old Negro spiritual, and I did. Hallelujah. I sang I Won't Complain, honey. Yes, a good old Negro spiritual. But I was honored to do so because anytime I get an opportunity to honor my elders, especially when they're crossing over into the land of the ancestors, no matter what I have going on, no matter whether I feel like it or not, I do it just to honor them for nothing more or nothing less than to honor them. So it was an honor for me to be asked to do that and to do it. And I made sure to state that before I began. As soon as I got up there and grabbed the mic, I said, first and foremost, it is an honor for me to be up here on behalf of my uncle. I was really disappointed because my dad wasn't there. That's his oldest brother, and that's the first of his siblings to pass away. It's one thing if he wasn't at my aunt's funeral, even though she's just as much his siblings because they've been together for 50 years, but not being, every time I looked out at the crowd through my shades and I didn't see his face, I was really emotional because of the disappointment and because of the fact that anytime I speak of any of the good men in my life, it'll be for my uncles or someone else's father. And I can only speak of the man that my father could have been. And I don't even know if, I don't know where he is. I don't know what condition he's in. So who's to know when he passes away? I'll even know. That really made me emotional. But still I rise. I grieved for the opportunity that I won't get to stand up and speak of the great man that my father was, the way that I got to speak about the great man that my uncle was, because he was. And you know, at least I have that. At least I had that. And my dad still has a brother and a sister that's alive. And they're amazing as well. I love them to pieces. So, nevertheless, what I came here for is to talk about Soulja Slim. Now, if y'all don't know who he is, after this little situation we got here, go and do your research. There's one song that I want you guys to go and listen to in reference to him because it's the reason why I'm here doing this. I don't know what 6'7" means, Auntie 38, honey. Y'all, somebody that's young and tender, tell me what 6'7" mean. I be seeing y'all chilling, talking about it, but Auntie closer to 40 than she is to 30. So somebody tell me what 6'7" means, because I'm just curious about it anyways, and Auntie don't like to be left out of the loop. She got a little bit of FOMO, and that is fear of missing out. It means get out. That's what 6'7" means, get out. Oh, all right. Well, let me get Glendale East out of here. And thank you, Sabrina, for being wise and knowledgeable. Oh, wise and knowledgeable, Sabrina. It means mid. I know somebody ain't called the goddess mid or the goddess's chat. Ain't nothing mid about Beyond the Veil. Anyways, Soulja Slim was a rapper. He's best known for being a rapper, and he is no longer alive. He is from New Orleans. Shout out to the New Year, baby. Shout out to the New Year, baby. Louisiana, baby. And shout out to my faux Louisiana accent, but get into it. Anyways, I came to know about Soulja Slim when I was about 19. My ex-husband put me on to him by way of his song Soulja Life Mentality. And it became the reason why I became oh, well, you guys might know him for the song he did with Juvenile, Slow Motion. I like it like that. Keep working that back. I don't know. She don't know how to. I don't know how to act slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Move it slow motion for me. That was Soulja Slim. But yes, I is high. My eyes is red because of the marijuana. For anybody who's curious, absolutely. Absolutely. Shout out to Mary and Jane, the twinsies. I love them both. Hey, Raven. Hey, Chesma. Anyway, so that is Soulja Slim. You guys might know him from that because that's the more commercial music. But I came to know him from his song Soulja Life Mentality. And it became my favorite song of his. And it is my opinion, just like everything else that I'm about to say, that is a very controversial song. I am a sativa girly. Indica puts me down, and I ain't got time for that because I have a very full schedule. So I don't have time to be down and sleep. I'm a sativa girl. Indica makes me feel very overly relaxed. And I always have a million and one things to do. And it seems to give me munchies more than sativa. So I like sativa because it's an upper. I can smoke it and keep going. So Um, it is my opinion that that song, Soulja Life Mentality, is a very controversial song. And I've been thinking about it lately. I actually thought to do this reading a couple of days ago, but I've had so much going on this week. Nevertheless, when I was thinking about it last night, I just so happened to log on to YouTube, and on my news feed, there was a video that someone made detailing the events of his passing. And all I ever knew was that he got shot and killed. I never, I was living life at the time, so I never had time to investigate or invest too much time in it. But you know the internet and your devices be reading our thoughts. So I figured that's how that video popped up, because I was thinking about doing this reading and I couldn't really pay attention to it, so I still didn't get too many of the details about why he got shot, but that's why we're here today. Now, personally, the reason that I thought about even doing this is because his song, Soldier Life Mentality, popped into my mind, as it does randomly. And I thought, I wonder if that had anything to do with him being unalived from, if you follow the breadcrumbs, not directly, but somebody behind somebody that actually pulled the trigger. And I say that because, well, you have to know the lyrics to that song to understand why I even think that. And I think hearing that song, anybody might think that the authorities might have a beef with Soulja Slim after that song because of the lyrics of that song. I mean, if the police vocally had an issue with Lil Boosie's song "F the Police," then Soulja Life Mentality is that, but it doesn't directly stop at the police. It kind of goes into Uncle Tom's, the system, white women. He kind of degrades them in a way that I won't repeat here. And that's why I say after this, go ahead and listen to the songs or look up the lyrics so you understand why I feel like there may be a reason why somebody behind the scenes might want him taken out because of at least that song. And so I was gonna do this in the perspective of asking if that song had anything to do with his passing, but I don't like to ask specific details. I just like to read the situation itself and then see what comes up. So I know most of you don't know too much about Soulja Slim, but for those who do and who see this later on, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Soulja Slim and his family. All right. Hey, Joss. Oh, and before I actually did get these into it, I wanted to get an oracle just because of my assumptions and my theories, my personal theories. I wanted to get an oracle card and see what the spirits, the divine, has to say about why Soulja Slim is not with us before I look into the details of the situation itself. That will help me understand the details better. So I'm going to start with my oracles. Most High Mother and Father God, I thank you for this beautiful Sunday, this day of the sun. I've spent it with my family, my mother, my sisters, my nieces and nephews, and I'm grateful for having them. I'm grateful for the times that we get to share together. Thank you for YouTube for being a successful platform for about 20 or so years so that I can sit here and shenanigan with my buddies. And thank you for my buddies for being in good health and good mind and good spirit enough to join me on this Sunday. Spirit, I would like to know, based on the divine, that is the one that is the ultimate wisdom in these matters, what does the divine have to say about the reason that Soulja Slim is not here with us anymore, that he was unalived? Not what to say about who did it exactly, but what do you have to say is the reason why Soulja Slim was unalived? Hey, Jess. I was wondering when a familiar face was going to pop in here. All right, Spirit, what do you have to say about why Soulja Slim was taken away? How are you this Sunday, Jess? Show the world the real you. I think it has something to do with the business that he was in, which is the music business. So I know that it might have been said that it was some street stuff that took him out, but show the world the real you. This is a card of celebrity for the oracles. So I think it has something to do with the music business that he was in, not any street business that he was in. Adjustments are required. I think there was some issues in some of the business that he was in, or just the music industry itself. Bring love into the situation. There was some beef, but I think it was industry related beef, not street beef. And I think maybe at the end of the day, what the divine is saying is that in order for Soulja Slim, hold your vision. And I think that Soulja Slim preferred to be authentic. And I think he was too hood and too street and too raw and too authentic for the industry. I think some people conform a bit, and some people that are the ones who are most known for having the most, thugged out music, I think are the least authentically about that life. Soulja Slim was definitely about that life, and I think that was an issue with the industry, the business that he was doing. I think he made some enemies with being authentically himself and maybe too vocal. Hold your vision. He was too authentic. Um, in my mind, I hear he was too real for the industry, and he did rub some people the wrong way, I believe. Hi, your favorite blonde. Most High Mother and Father God, please allow me to conjure up the spirit, soul, and collective energy of Soulja Slim, the formerly, the late dearly departed, passed away, um, formerly known rapper Soulja Slim. Please allow me to conjure up his spirit, soul, and collective energy. Um, hmm. Soulja Slim, I would like to talk to you about why your life was taken. Now that you are on the other side, I know that you know details that you might not have seen while you were alive. And obviously, if you did see those, maybe you would still be here. Maybe you would have been able to get out of some of the situations that enclosed on you and caused your life to be taken. But now that you can see, Soulja Slim, please allow me to see from your soul's truth, from your collective energies experience, known and unknown to your consciousness. Why was your life taken? Why was your life taken, Soulja Slim? Why and what were the circumstances surrounding it? First and foremost, this gives me a little bit set up. The Seven of Swords would too, but this gives me set up. It gives like a shooter who had an issue that shouldn't have had one. And did his shooter get off? If anybody's in here besides a troll, do you know if his shooter got off? Because I want to say I believe the person that they were supposed to hold accountable is not in jail, didn't end up going to jail. Give me a second. I'm going to try to get a little fact. Did Soulja Slim killer get caught? Okay, no. Jarrell Smith, the man arrested in connection with Soulja Slim's murder, did not get released because he was found shot to death in 2011. So I think that's why I feel like it was a setup, because the person that was brought on to do it was taken out as well. So all the loose ends are connected in that. And the only person who could have told the intimate details about why he shot Soulja Slim, well, he's not here either. That sometimes is a perfect recipe for a hired killer and somebody that's not even meant to go to jail. This is somebody who's not meant to be around to tell certain details. So that's why this makes me feel like a setup, because even the killer themselves of Soulja Slim, I believe, in my opinion, was set up too. Even from the beginning, from them being recruited to do it. I think Soulja Slim had some issues with the industry, and someone from his community was brought on to do it. Somebody that he may have looked like it made sense for him to have beef with. And I think that beef, or if he did have a beef with the shooter, I think it may have, if it didn't already exist, it was inflamed. What I'm saying is, I believe that the reason why this person, people would say that this person did it, I don't think that was why. I think it was inflamed. I think they needed a reason to, if they weren't already an enemy where it was convenient for them to do it. I think he had an issue with people that at least he did business with, or used to do business with, or business people surrounding him, even maybe people in his community, and not regular people, people with status, people with power in his community. Maybe. In my mind, I feel like a mixture of business owners, maybe politicians, maybe some police force people shaking hands, and that just tells me that they know each other, they're familiar with each other, and they may be friendly or have a camaraderie with each other. But that's just what I see when I close my eyes. I think that even though Soulja Slim was a rapper and he did have a song that became a commercial hit with Juvenile because he was a feature, I think he never really left the projects. I don't think he got big enough to where he could afford to really move out and maintain a lifestyle outside of the projects. And if he did, he must have preferred to stay. And that made him an easy target by remaining in the hood. Easy prey, easy target. His case is closed. Nobody's going to want to reopen it. As far as they're concerned, the person that is responsible is no longer here. So, as far as they're concerned, the case is closed. But there's so much more to be said. It's unfortunate though, because that person, the other person involved, is no longer here. So, that's why this moon is here, because there's so much left to be said about both of their stories and how their stories came to mix in violence. I think that Soulja Slim pissed off some powerful people. If this was regular street stuff, then I should have gotten the Five of Wands already, or even here in the intention position. But I think he pissed off some powerful entities who decided that his time was up. The Anubis has decided that his time in the circle of life is up. There were entities here who converged together to make that decision. This is a card of time. Time is on your side. Luck is on your side. Time is not as on your side. Bad luck. For some reason, I think that he wasn't even supposed, I don't think that whoever didn't want him around to continue to make money in the industry. If he was around, he would have continued to rap, even independently, even, just on his own. And the things that he said, I think people had a problem with. And I don't think that anybody wanted to allow him to blow up independently and make a lot of money and a name for himself on his own without entities controlling him. The problem was, I think he wasn't controllable. I think he was stubborn and wanted to do his own thing his own way, didn't want to conform to industry standards, didn't want to mince words and not talk about certain things, didn't want to behave away. He didn't want to play the game, I believe. I don't know if this is a baby mama or his mother. And I'm not sure why they're here yet. But this is a baby's mother or his mother of his. I would like to say that he was set up and the person who unalived him was supposed to be unalived too from the beginning. I think it's when the idea was conceived, it was that both of them would be eliminated eventually. This sits on top of this, though. Interesting. A definite injustice. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to try to dance around my words and figure it out if you're wise and astute. But there was an injustice here, a major one. And I don't think it stopped with the passing of Soulja Slim. I don't think it stopped with his killer being arrested and released so that he could then be killed too. Because he was arrested, but then he was released and then he was killed. Now, I have the justice card here, but in reverse. So I have the justice system here, in my opinion, but in reverse. Sitting on top of this plot and plan that was carried out. But my curiosity is this mother figure and why she's on either side of this situation here. Outcome. The truth about Soulja Slim's passing or certain details about it will never come out because the killer of Soulja Slim has a lot of details and things that he could say, but he's not here to say them either. So there's a lot that's unsolved and unresolved, and that's the outcome. However, this is a woman and a son in a boat. This is a mother figure, so she would be her. Now, I don't know if this is Soulja Slim's mother and he's the son, or if he had a child with someone. But the person behind Soulja Slim and his killer's passing is still alive. Person or persons. And I'm actually going to start here with the Empress because I'm most curious about why she's here. Soulja Slim, who is this Empress? And why is she here? For whatever reason, she was in on it in some way. Either in on his passing or in on his business. You know what? I'm going to say that I think that she knows the real reason why he is not here. Not the why the killer killed him, the street reason, the real reason. Anytime I see this when I read a celebrity, especially one that has passed, or a celebrity who does sacrifices or something, or a celebrity that's being taken down, like a Diddy has gotten this. Um, Jay-Z's gotten this in some parts of like his external energies, which lets me know that that's what they are trying to do. They've been trying to take Jay-Z down. This has been in Diddy's present position. This has been in Jay-Z's external position. So they've been trying, but he's slick. In his case, this is a celebrity that was taken down or taken out. This woman would be aware that this wasn't, in my opinion, the takedown of a celebrity, not just a street beef. Because we also have the Chariot here, which is also another card of fame, success, and victory. So whoever this mother figure is, whoever's mother she is, she would be aware of the real reason Soulja Slim is not here. Let me look into that star in the verse. That's on the bottom. This person would have intimate details that Soulja Slim shared with her about his experiences in the business. She would have heard directly from Soulja Slim who would be capable of something like this. The star. A definite takedown. A definite takedown. Because clarifying the takedown, you have somebody who says so. And this doesn't just have to be one person, because the emperor is the culmination of all the kings. So remember I said I closed my eyes and I saw different male parties shaking hands, like in familiarity with each other that may have been in on it. and it was like a mixture of businessmen or politicians or police people, judicial people, something like that, that would be this conglomerate here who would have came together and made the decision and made the arrangements. Now, this is definitely a setup, and both parties were silenced. But it's my opinion that that's how it was intended to be from the very beginning. It says per okay, it says per Google that Jarrell Smith, which was the shooter of Soulja Slim, was police arrested Jarrell Smith for the murder of Soulja Slim. Ballistics matched a pistol found on him to the bullets that killed the rapper. But Smith was never convicted of the murder because no witness would testify against him. Smith was arrested for several other murders, but those charges were also dropped and he was released. He was found shot to death on August 13th, 2011. So he was arrested for several other murders, but all those charges were also dropped, including the one for Soulja Slim. He was released for all of them. That don't sound like a hired shooter, somebody that even maybe the federales might know of. He could be an informant to them, which is why they keep releasing him. But that could also be why they would use him for certain things. I mean, somebody like him would have had a record, would have gotten picked up from the police before, probably started working with them. And every time he got caught up in a bind, or anytime they needed somebody to do some dirty work, and by they, who knows who they is? I'm just telling the story here. An idea. Every time they needed him to do somebody to do some dirty work, well, they'll use one of their somebody's who they own, so to speak. And maybe the biggest job that he did was taking out a rapper, a well-known rapper. And then after that, even he might have been afraid of the boys for some reason. And he would have reason to be, because he knows at some point he would be disposable to them after all the dirt he might have done for them. So after somebody with some name being taken out, yeah, he already knows they about to do a man now, but I think whatever street stuff was made up, whatever beef, whatever reason that the streets say they had, oh, him and dude was beefing, or for whatever reason, this would be real. This isn't. Now, who is this woman? If he don't have any, hi, Michael. If he doesn't have any kids or a baby mama, then that's his mama. Did Soulja Slim? I don't think he have kids. Have kids. I don't think he had kids. Oh, he did. He had a son, little Soulja Slim. He had two sons, one of whom is known as Little Soulja Slim. His son is with Magnolia Dana. Is she also a rapper? Magnolia Dana. Magnolia Dana. Now, who is she? So it doesn't seem like she's a rapper or anything. It just talks about her being his baby mama, but she is very vocal. I'm not sure. All right. Now let's look into why the justice is here in reverse. You know what? I think that there was a lot of reasons why there were people who wanted him gone, but I think one thing might have put the nail in the coffin. I actually think that was Soulja Life mentality. Let me look and see the time between his passing and that song coming out. Soulja Slim. So he passed in 2003. Soulja Life Mentality. That came out 2001. I think that was the nail in the coffin. Now let me read you some of the lyrics. I'm on Google and I'm reading some of the lyrics to Soulja Slim's song, Soulja Life Mentality. These are not my own. I'm reading Soulja Slim's lyrics, but I want you guys to understand why I believe that was the nail in the coffin. It's actually even hard to get to somebody that will post the lyrics. Okay, these are the lyrics to Soulja Life Mentality. I actually could tell you off the top of my head, but not all of them. See, this isn't even his lyrics. So, just they may not even have it online. Hold on, you guys. This is how hard it is just to find the lyrics to his song. So it was definitely the nail in the coffin, in my opinion. Let's see, because it says here on Shazam. Okay. It's hard to maintain a soldier life mentality if it be a tragedy. Them white folks come and hassle me, gon' slam me down and wrestle me. This is the chorus, just to put on handcuffs, then charge me with resistance. When they told me throw my hands up, here's the first verse. Just cause I'm gonna have to say it like him. Just cause I'm a black man, push a 2G, lack and mouth full of golds and my neck and wrist frozen. They label me a drug lord, supplying the third ward when I only put some ghetto D with Master P in my tank, dogs. It's money in the bank, dogs. Them haters don't like that. Bitch, this ain't the slave days. Us niggas gon' fight back. You crackers could write that all up in the magazines. Put me on the TV screen, and I'm going to say the same things. You can call me racist, blackmail in this white world. I'm sick of seeing sellout niggas married to these white girls, knowing they the enemy. Can't never be no friend of me. I just get my suck nut in their mouth instantly. They ain't nothing but freak shows that you feel that's what you need, though. Why you off out talking about white women? While you off at work or something, she fuck one of your people. Now you wanna kill something, pull off you and OJ. If you ain't got the dream team, then you ain't winning your case. I get up all in your face and call you a straight house ninja. I know you gonna press charges on me with my pistol all in your mouth, ninja. Then it goes into the chorus. Now, y'all heard everything I just said, Soulja Slim said in that song, in the first verse and in the chorus. Y'all see why some people behind this card, people like this would feel like, yeah, we got a lot of reasons, but that, which was released in 2001 and he was killed in 2003, that was the nail in the coffin. Yes, he did. Just that's why I said y'all gotta hear it for yourselves, because he did. And the way I said it, it's the same way he rapped it. I just didn't put his little swag on it because I ain't trying to make the fans think that I'm agreeing right now with this. I just want y'all to hear it. Then it goes back into the chorus, and then he goes on to say, because now he in his Malcolm X. Black man kill a black man, it's cool, they loving that. Black man kill a white man, they sentencing him to death. White man kill a black man, then scream about self-defense, then break it down to manslaughter with all of the evidence. Ever since I've been here, been nothing but sin here. I done backed up out the game just to pursue my career. He said he wasn't in the game no more. So that's why I wasn't this. So I'm going to say this loud and clear. Mother, the white man, Ku Klux Klan talk shit, but they don't want to start shit. Niggas today ignorant, especially my little generation. Squeeze triggers with no hesitation for any kind of little altercation. Rapping is my occupation, but I still ride with my pistol though and drop the top on the low low so I could feel the wind blow. Hey, he ripped down. Sorry, but drop the top on a low low so I could feel the wind blow. Pull up on side of white folks. Smile, show every goal I got. Smoking on some sticky, sticky, but y'all like to call it pot. Young black man calling shots. Middle finger to all the cops. Suck a nigga pulling your Glock out for a traffic stop. So maybe that explains why they here. I'm not laughing, but now y'all see why I say I think Soldier Life mentality did it. These is the lyrics right here. I just read them right there. Man, and he was gone 2 years later. So I just clarified this with saying I think this was the nail in the coffin for them. Definitely. I think a woman might have been involved some way because I have two queens here and the empress. So all we missing is two more queens, but I think they're the same person. I think they're all the same woman. But she's behind the law. So they might have, come to her to help in some way. Take them on down. And in some kind of way, make it seem like it was this. Now, this was the takedown of both Soulja Slim and his killer. Let's see what we got. I'm going to say it's my opinion. I think it's his baby mama. Just because of something I just saw on the bottom, the 5 of Cups in reverse. That's fake beef. The 5 of Cups in reverse would be fake grief. Let's see here. It seemed to all be a bunch of gossip, a bunch of back and forth, stoking the flames to make this happen. But it would have come from her. After she was activated in this way by them. So they would approach her and say, hey, we want you in on this. Now she would go from, all right, bet I'm in, to now, and then they say, this is what we want you to do. We want you to pill talk, spread seeds, gossip. He said this about you, da 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 da. So now she would go from the Queen of Wands saying, I'm in, to now the Queen of Cups being the one to spill from her cup all of these, which brought these men to their ultimate demise. Lies and fallacies. Lies, fallacies. Lies, dreams. Lies, illusions. Lies, and fallacies. To get the shooter up on his guard and make him have more of a beef with Soulja Slim, and they may have had one in the past. But even if they didn't, this person, I believe, was somebody that the feds already used from time to time. I said I think Soulja Life Mentality, the song, was the nail in the coffin that did him in. Let me clarify and see. Because if not, something else was. Exactly. So that's why I don't think it was this. I think he pissed off some parties that were friendly with each other. Remember when I started, I said, I see some groups of men from different agencies or entities, but they're friendly. They're familiar, a conglomerate. They're friends with each other, even though maybe they shouldn't be. So they have secret personal relationships with each other. Say if this was popular business owners in New Orleans where he lived, local police, and then, the judge or something like that. These parties, and I'm just hypothetically speaking, and because he kind of did call out various people, somebody thought, or various parties that were friendly with each other thought that he was a problem. I'll say that much. And I think they didn't like something that he said in a song. I think a song was the nail in the coffin. The audacity of him. He put out a song. And I honestly think he may have been warned not to put out that song, or it may have come on the heels of some run ins that he had with authority figures that he was rebelling against. But I think he released that as a statement to some parties. Now, who are these parties? Entities that he feel like were oppressive and crooked. So everybody that he called out in his song, this makes me think even more because he literally called out systems of oppression and crooked system, racist, the Ku Klux Klan, the middle finger to the police, white women who only good for setting up black men. And if you ain't got OJ Dream Team, then you ain't gonna win your case when you crash out, when you come home and she doing your people in your house. I mean, he went in on them. He went in on them. So that's who's behind this party who feel like that was the nail in the coffin for him. Gotta go. Gotta go. These are entities, crossed entities, a brotherhood of sorts, but they all work in different fields, but they're all a part of the same system. So it is my belief that his song, Soulja Life Mentality, which was an FU to the system as he saw it, I think that they felt like you won't do another mother loving thing. You won't make another loving dime in this industry or on this earth. He may have already been into it with some entities, even in the industry, but I feel like he was maybe getting hit up either by the industry or the police because he mentioned pulling them over and then pulling out their guns for a traffic stop. I think he was frustrated with the system, and but I think he had some reason before he put that song out to feel like he shouldn't. And I think he said, F that. F that. I'm putting my song out. F them. This makes me feel like it was a song he released, maybe in poor taste to some people. And the only song he's ever released like that was Soulja Life Mentality. Let me see. I think it's exactly what I said. Because it was a message song. And it seems like men in the industry are not allowed to release message songs unless it goes with an agenda, unless it's sanctioned. This was an authentic message song about the system itself, and how it works against and how it's set up and geared towards his community. They're not allowed to release songs that are revolutionary or rebellious. I won't say revolutionary so that they don't think that I'm nothing. I think that it was rebellious. And I'm not saying that anything is wrong with rebellion, but I'm saying that rebellion is an issue to people who are in power. Otherwise, it won't be rebelling. And that's exactly what that song was. And I think that rappers are not allowed to release music like that unless it's okayed. What, and by okayed, you know what comes to mind? Lil Baby's song that he made, the Black Lives Matter song that he made. I forgot what it's called. I forgot what Lil Baby Black Lives Matter song. It's bigger than something like that. I forgot what how it go, but it was everywhere. That one was okay. That one was sanctioned because even the Black Lives Matter movement when it became politicized, that became in the bigger picture. That song is one that is okayed because the Black Lives Matter movement had a political agenda behind it. So that one was okay because there were also powerful people that were pushing an agenda within the Black Lives Matter movement. And I've done a Trayvon Martin reading, so I talked about my perspective of that, and that was the trigger for the Black Lives Matter movement. That was the first event that happened in the recent history like that, and then others happened right back after that. And I told you guys what I saw behind the scenes in the Trayvon Martin situation and the politics that I saw in that. And I said, I don't know if it was set up to push an agenda or if they used that as an opportunity to push an agenda. But that's exactly what I saw, one or the other. And both of those are my opinion. Controlled opposition, exactly, Jess. Soulja Slim's song was not controlled. His song is not controlled. That was a song signed an angry black man about his experience of injustice and racism in Louisiana and beyond in the industry, probably. Because he talked about sellout men that he was sick of. Do I think the music business industry was more strict back then compared to now? Yes. Yes, Lex. Yes, I do. Because I've experienced both of them. I experienced that music industry and this one. And yes, it was more strict because you had to have talent. Now, all you have to be is able to influence. Celebrities now need to be influencers, which is why followers count, subscribers count. Back then, something like that wouldn't have mattered more than talent. But now, you can have talent, but if you don't have the ability to amass a large amount of people for brands to want to buy into so that they can influence the audience that you gather, then they don't care about your talent anymore. They need to see if you're able to influence the generation that's currently marketable right now. And that's why they don't mind calling older artists old and phasing them out and disrespecting them, because that's a part of the agenda. Because those artists are still talented and able to really utilize their gifts for influence, but if they were given the platform. But they also come from a different time where values mattered. And if the older, more talented artists that are still really good were able to have a platform to influence, they would influence people a different way through their talent. Genuine talent is done through tapping into your soul and your subconscious. And having people tap into their soul and subconscious is not an agenda right now. They just need everybody to be consumers because we're in an age now where people would have already been settled into whatever side of the fence they're on while judgment is being passed down. And so now all they want to do is suck the people dry that they have in their grasp. And if you're a mass consumer, then they have you in their grasp and they're sucking you dry. And they're able to do so because the metrics tell them. We're in a digital age now, and everything, they're able to gauge everything now through data because everything that we engage in is in a controlled environment, a social construct, a technology, which is measured in data. And they can watch us through these things. So now that they have more reach to all of our subconscious through technology, all they need is people to influence. And people who have genuine gifts and talents tend to be less easily controlled. So yes, I do think the current industry is less strict because it's about mass consumerism now. So that's what I got for Soulja Slim. I thank him for that information, and I release him back to his place of rest and peace and gratitude from me. Any questions? Any more concerns? That was a good question, Lex. But yes, back then, like you, you would get laughed at if you couldn't sing, even with all the production in the world. They needed you to be able to sing. You ain't even have to know how to dance and do your little TikTok dance and stuff. They ain't get no fuck about that. All you need was vocals and gowns, honey. Vocals and gowns. All you need to know how to do is slide down a wall and sing your throat out. Okay? With a no. All you needed to know how, listen. You needed a church vocal training back then. So absolutely. And they was beating them into submission and drugging them into submission and MK Ultra them into submission. They didn't even want. They use MK Ultra so that they can give you a talent if you ain't have one. Not even give, because they did, everything wasn't digital back then. So how else were going to influence you if not through people? Which is why Bill Gates can say within the next 10 years humans will be obsolete. Back then they needed people to be influencers. And the only way they could reach the masses was through celebrities who had talent. Now, they have many other ways to reach the masses, so they don't need your talent. They don't need humans to reach you. But we're not completely obsolete. So, yes, if you're going to be a human, you're going to be a robot. We just need you to robot. That's it now. And we need people to like you. What's your thing? What do you have that makes people like you? You can sing? Okay, but how many followers do you have? Yeah, you can dance, but how many subscribers do you have? No, seriously. Oh, that's cute. How about you come back to us when you get to about 100,000? Then we'll talk. Okay? Okay, great voice though. Love the song. Well, let's see here. Is the current state of music at its peak from, I'll say, the 70s unto now, the 2020s? Is the current state of music at its peak from the 1970s unto now? Is it at its peak? Because you know the new rappers love to say people hating on them, and the new singers and everybody like to say everybody's hating on them. And when we just old, when we say the music isn't good anymore, they say that it's supposed to change, and I agree, but for the better. So let's see if it's changed for the better. Is music today in the 2020s at its peak within, I'll say, since the 1970s until now? Well, it's the most lucrative, it's the most successful. The more people are able to become successful now than before. So it depends on what side of this you're on. I mean, this isn't about it being strict or not. I'm asking, is music better? It's easier to become successful. More people are able to amass success now. So it's not as easily gate kept anymore. Yes, more people are able to get on and make money. But music itself is being used. It's being ran as a business now, but not as the music business, just as a business that makes money. Now, music is a cup. Music is a cup in readings, but we have no cups here. We have wands, which is business and enterprise. Six of wands is success. And then we have pentacles, people making money. A lot of people are able to make money, but there's no real music, no soul in the music business anymore. Where are the cups? Where's the talent? Music has been sold out by major entities. I would say if there is a three major labels, or if there was ever a three major labels, I would say they have a large part to do with it because they choose who they sign. So the big three, or whoever the big however many labels, are purposely signing certain people and not purposely signing certain other people. This is a purposely keeping certain people with, here's the cups, talent, from becoming worldwide success. They should, but there's a choice made. This is a sellout between, I believe, labels who came together and made a decision of a particular people that they would sign in order to sway the way the music industry is now. If they only sign certain acts, then people will learn to like what they're given. Then our tastes would change and adjust over time. And over time, it will result in people just liking what's fun, because after a while, they stop signing the soul, the talent in music. So people learn to do without, and then find other things in music that they like, since they weren't being fed the way they wanted. And then we got into beats, vibes, popularity, which opened the door for a lot more people to eat off of the music industry because it's being sucked dry for money. That seems to be on purpose. So, no, music isn't at its peak, but the music business is at its peak. And I only say that because more people are able to get on. So that's why you don't have superstars anymore, because more people are able to become famous and become rich. So it's like, if you have somebody that's rich and famous for being not as talented as someone who's talented and rich and famous, you start to kind of lose respect for the value in the person's talent, because they're on the same level as somebody less talented, but just as famous and just as rich. So then eventually people start saying, okay, well, why does it matter if you can sing? And that's just what happened. Without people being aware, you start learning to like what was given. Now, I do believe that now we're at a time where they can't run it like that anymore, because they've sucked it all dry. And you can't run a music business without the music. Eventually, that model of fugazing people will dry out, because people have souls. Every generation, even though you guys program a generation, well, another generation is born with a fresh new set of soul. And they're going to want something, because music is authentic. It's a natural art. It's a natural human ability. So it's something that people yearn for. And if you dumb down a generation, you have to keep dumbing down a generation. But You have to dumb them down eventually, but inherently, people are drawn to music naturally. So it's becoming to a point where people are collectively being tired of being sucked dry from all of the various systems, which is why they're falling, because collectively people are tired of being sucked dry from the governments to their jobs, the corporate worlds, the music business, entertainment. Everybody's being tired. We're tired of being given dry material, and the people that is making it, they're tired of being used for it. The whole collective is tired. So it has to be a reset. It has to be a reset. And the only thing you can do now at the beginning of Pluto in Aquarius is be an innovator. It might not be popular now to be innovative and get back to the roots of things, but it will be, because everything London Bridges is falling. So you want to already be positioned to already be active when the dust settles, because something will need to be rebuilt when London Bridges falls, and you want to be at the forefront of setting the tone for what's next. So go ahead and be innovative now, even if it seems that it's not welcome and it's not popular. Get comfortable with creating and being innovative if you're a creative now, because we see this shit is falling, and the only thing, only way to go after ground zero is back up. So be in the position to reap from the rebuilding, because after everything falls, people are going to want to rebuild from the same systems, but they're going to need new people, new ideas, new everything. So get out there and be prepared to be the next. That's my advice with the forecast. And I've given that before to someone who worked in the business and was asking about what, the next year for them looked like. And I told them it looked dreary, because the industry is going to be in shambles. So it's going to be difficult for everybody to make money. It's just going to be hard times for everybody in the industry, because every gatekeeper and every part of the industry is falling. And I gave them the same advice, because when I asked for advice, I got the 7 of Cups. So and I said, you got to start creating from ground zero, start dreaming up things, start experimenting, start even get on social media. If social media washed out the old guard who was used to the old media, and you guys are, being replaced by social media, you guys are still creatives. Create on social media, utilize social media, put your content and your great ideas for new shows and sitcoms and stuff directly on YouTube, directly on your social media platforms, and let them take off organically. That's the only way. You have to rebuild from the fallen. And if the power is shifting, then be the one to grab it. The people are hungry for something new, so create. And then the industry will come sniffing behind you. Because, like I said, they like influence. So, yep. People are valuing their money much more now because money is tighter. So, wherever it's spent, it has to be well spent. People want their value for their money now. Definitely. All right. Well, I don't see a lot of my members here tonight, so I'm not gonna do rev- um the reclaiming series tonight, because I don't see a lot of my members in here. It'll only be 2 or 3 of us, and I like when I can vibe with a lot of my members. So I might stick around here till about 8, poke around in some other things. Anybody else got anything? I'm finished with Soulja Slim. And that's what I came for. I'm actually glad I did it because I feel like my theory is correct. I don't really know anything else going on in the world because you're welcome, Jester Don. I hope you like it. I love that song. I do. I've been knowing about it since, I won't even say 2003 when it came, I mean 2001. I think I found out about it around 2006 or 7. Probably 2007 is when I started listening to it. And he was already gone, but I didn't know he was passed away when I started listening to it. Maybe I did. Maybe my ex told me, but my ex put me on to a lot of music. He put me on the Kodak back then when Kodak first came out and nobody knew him. He was uploading his videos on YouTube down in the hood in Pompano, a few exits away from us. And he loved Kodak even back then. So he was always first to know about people, and then they later blew up. But yes, Soldier Life Mentality, love that song. And I think that song got him taken out. And I believe the reading confirmed it. I believe that there might have been other reasons, but that was the nail in the coffin. And I'm still really curious about that woman, but I'm not going to go there right now because I don't know enough about her to dig into that, but my eye is sighing his baby mama, not his mama, his baby mama. So let me ask a question. In light of Soulja Slim and his rebellious song, I want to ask, do the spirits agree with anything that he said? Because he called out racist people, he called out the KKK, he called out police injustice, and those are causes that I get behind. Let's see what the divine has to say. When I say the divine, I mean the divine consort. When I say that, I usually am envisioning a round table, so to speak, of elders in my mind. Spirit, Soulja Slim's song, Soulja Life Mentality. What what does the divine have to say about that song in particular? And what he said in it, his sentiments. Meditate and contemplate. I think that the divine is saying when you say things like this publicly, if you have a public platform and you choose to speak out against the system, then you already should know that you're going to upset the system. So the spirits aren't saying right or wrong. They're saying, okay, I'm being corrected. The spirit's saying that he's right for speaking out however he wants to, per his experience. Everybody is righteous for speaking out based on their experience, especially if they feel like their experience is injustice. However, I think you're dumb. How about that? However, that comes with consequences. Right or wrong, it comes with consequences sometimes, depending on how loud your voice is able to be heard and who exactly is listening. Don't let pride get in your way. Now, there is a way to speak out about your injustices without putting a target on your back so viciously. But obviously, his song was done with a lot of pride and arrogance. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, and neither are the spirits, but it definitely was. But there was a lot of black pride, black male pride. And I think that some parties feel like black men specifically, but black people are not allowed to have that kind of audacity. I think that there are people who feel like there is a place for us, which is why I circle back to people who are authentic and aren't willing to conform are not really allowed to be platformed because you're uncontrollable and you might say something that the conglomerate doesn't agree with. So when you are platformed and propped up, then you've conformed, even if the agenda is for you to play like the authentic voice. But you're not. The authentic voice is usually drowned out because they're not controlled. And the same reason they like them for being authentic is going to be the same reason they resent them when they start being authentic about what they don't like about you. And so I think somebody that's genuinely expressing themselves or using music to express themselves, not just to make music in the industry, but using their music talents to make a statement in the way Soulja Slim did as a very proud black man with a lot of audacity. Now, somebody said, Ninja, let me humble you real quick. Real quick. But you are good enough. So the spirit said, black man, come on now, spirits. Y'all better throw your fists up. The spirit said, black man, you are everything that you said you were. You are everything that you think you are. No matter who tells you that you have audacity for thinking you are. But that came with consequences, and sometimes it does. So that's the catch 22 in this world that we live in. And the spirits are saying, that's the world that you live in. Yes, you can be you, and you can be proud about being you, and you can remind people who don't want you to be proud to F off. But those people also behave a certain way because they can. And just know that that ain't always safe for you. And that's what the spirits think about that. Spirit, does that mean that it is wise for Black people to Spirit, do you think that it's wise for people to continue to crouch over, so to speak? Not stand upright, but to crouch over, because we know the minute that we stand upright, there'll be someone that could be violent or ready to oppress us because they currently have the power to punish us if we decide to stand up and say no mas. We know what the risks are, but should we just sit back and wait for a day where we don't have to? Should we continue to crouch over because it's safe? even if our backs are starting to hurt from doing so. A time to give rather than to take. The word consent comes to mind, and if you're a member of mine, then you might understand where I'm going with this. But they can only take what you give. A time to give rather than to take. And they said it in their Law of Nations, and then they repeated it in their preamble to their Constitution, that every man is made equal with independence and sovereignty on their own, that cannot be deprived without consent. So it's almost like your oppression is because so many of you are choosing oppression. Unfortunately, that's what this is saying. If you give someone your sovereignty, whatever they do with it, if they use it as a yoke over you, you gave them your consent. Communication is key. I'm telling you guys, in my membership, we are doing a reclaiming series. And the second series after we reclaimed the book of Revelation, I did the Constitution, and I referenced the Law of Nations, which preceded the Constitution. It's when never mind. But communication is given means, for one, the way that our consent is taken from us is tied up in legalese and how it's communicated to us. But this is also communication rules contracts and things like that. It's a Gemini. It rules contracts, legalities, and things like that. So with government, even the one we have now that is fully oppressive, they are only wielding the power that they have the power to wield given to them by the people, that nobody else wielded but they could have. If you read the contract, the Constitution, the preamble, and understand what's being said, just the preamble. And then the first couple of articles, or at least the first article that talks about the legislative branch. And then go and Google the Law of Nations and download it and read it. I know a lot of people don't like to read, but my people perish from lack of knowledge. So unfortunately, if you want to be enlightened and you want to be free, nobody's going to give it to you. You got to get it because it's available to you, but you got to go and get it. It will not crack the sky open, but it's there. Nevertheless, my question was, will we always have to crouch down? And I mean the afflicted and oppressed, especially in the West, because it's dangerous for us when we try to stand up for ourselves and speak out against the totality of the system that works against us in many ways in our experience and historically. The answer is that we have entered into partnerships with entities that are not romantic, they're not favorable to us. And this, the first one out, tells me that every human being was made with their own crown, with their own sovereign given to them by the source. The source, a human, and then being with their own crown. This means that everybody who was born from a woman, meaning every human being, has their own sovereignty. But it's been a time to give rather than to take here because, well, through legalities, constitution, government, and things like that, have we really been oppressed? And that's how they're able to punish us in the courts and things like that if we don't agree with taxation because we might feel like it's theft. Well, if you don't pay your taxes, they're going to come after you with the IRS and even jail if you don't pay that. If you don't comply with the police when they stop you, even if they have guns on you for no reason other than the fact that they have the power to stop you and put a weapon that could take your life in your face before they even know your name, and they have the power and the right to do so. They also have the authority to take your life if they feel like you do something that they might not like. Think of another human being having the power to do so because we give a government the agreement to say that they have that. How do we do that? Well, we continue to vote for them. We continue to comply. Imagine if election year came up and not one person decided to vote. What do you think would happen? One or two things. Either one, the government would say, well, we cease to exist because the people of the United States have unanimously agreed in no government. So you're on your own. That's the one. Or the two is that they will continue without, they will find a way. Because as they are run currently, how much consent do you think you give? If you say we don't agree to sending money to Ukraine, do you think they're still going to send money to Ukraine? If you guys say we don't agree with is the type of relationship we have with with Israel, it being them and us against the world, you think that's going to change them? Has it? If you guys say we would like to stand with Palestine, do you think that has stopped it? So what I'm saying, do you think President Trump has not done anything he's wanted to do? Only people that have been able to stop him was Congress or a judge, a federal judge. So only other government entities can really control government entities because after you vote your representatives in for your state, well, after that, think about how the power is divided after that. And then it goes up to the legislative branch and they make laws. So you give a legislative government branch the ability and the power to make a law concerning you when we were all born under what we have is known as natural law. Now, those are the only two things that could happen if everybody woke up and decided not to vote. Either they would shut down the government because the people decided they didn't want one, or they just run it and say, well, the people didn't vote, so now we just have to let Congress figure it out. I think that would most likely happen rather than saying the people don't want us anymore. So we'll just go pack up our bags and go back to the UK, to our parents in Britain, and all the other conglomerate of places that we've come from. Do you think that will happen? Do you think Mr. FBI Patel would just go pack up and go back to India if that's where he came from? No. So our yoke is our own almost now because they can't kill us all. So if everybody that says they're tired, which is every United States citizen, pretty much really showed and proved that they were tired, what would they do to everybody? What could they do to everybody? To the majority. They would have to use their military against us, and they probably would. But then you would see what your government really is. Because you guys can't see it now. You can't see the relationship, the abusive relationship that you're in now, because you're still a time to give. You're still giving. Now, this is not me saying, rebel, rebel, overtake the White House and all of that. I'm not saying that. I'm only saying what my imagination is telling me per what I believe the spirits are communicating to me as a medium who's good at what they do. So why would I be wrong now? A time to give rather than to take. And also, it kind of states that again in the Law of Nations and the preamble. It kind of does. My members know this because we studied both of those texts. So we've seen what it says. We've seen the legalese, and we've learned to pay attention to the fine print and to what they're saying. Just read it word by word and consume every word. Let every word sink in fully so that your common sense and the not so common sense behind your common sense can start working together. A time to give rather than to take. That's when the that's when you start reading things for the first time that you've read forever. You be like, hold on. Actually, what it's saying that I've never noticed that it's saying. I read and write contracts for a living, so. Behind a time to give rather than to take, the majority are ruled by a select few. The majority. And then we keep looking up for a savior in the skies, in the government. Just looking up, help us, not knowing that by looking up, waiting on some savior to help us, we're in graves. And we remained poor and impoverished as a collective. Rise up, people. There's power and strength, and also in numbers. Strength could overtake Lady Liberty, but the strength is also courage. Courage. And it will be nasty. Because this is somebody that rules with an iron thumb. And they said, I wish them Negroes would. And by Negroes, I mean everybody. I wish them citizen Negroes would. I wish they would. You see, I gave them their benefits and now they quiet. Look, gave them their benefits. Now they ain't mad no more. And that's how I know I can treat them any kind of way. Because all I got to do is give them a little bit of nothing when they actually deserve so much more. But out of all of this, we're going to dish out like this. And that's just one step up from poverty. But he says, look, they was mad. And now gave y'all little snap my fingers, and boom. Y'all ain't mad no more. Just annoyed with the people. Trump treats America like this because he is annoyed with the mindlessness. I was going to say dumb, but it's almost like I can do anything I want. What they going to do? It's almost like, look at them. They are weak. I can do anything and they'll take it. All they'll do is get mad. But look how quickly. All we got to do is get them a little something, something. A little something, something. A little something, something. Hey. Because you know it's the holidays and all they worrying about is cooking their holiday meals and buying presents. Courage. That's what the people don't have. And I'll close with this. The problem is the collective is looking for a leader. They're looking for some one person. And the other problem is that it would have to be a woman. Because only a woman really has this kind of courage, it seems. And only one type of woman. She's in reverse. A real, naturally spiritual, magical, could really make things shift if they wanted to. But they're so oppressed, and not just oppressed, but they've been prostituted now. The collective of them don't even have the same values, morals, and pride as the women that they used to. But it would be one of those women who would have to incite the change. They're the most, um, they receive the most injustice more than anybody, more than Palestine. Women, but then there's a specific set of them. Women. The spirit within us, it has to be continuously sacrificed, taking down, because the spirit in us incites hope. Hope, despair. High spirited, faithless. A woman, women. You guys feel like Kamala is unfinished business? You guys feel like you voted for Kamala and you never got the opportunity to experience what it would have been like under her leadership? The reason she didn't get in is because she wanted to maintain the way things were, the good old days. The problem with the good old days is that they were they only had the illusion of being good. It's like things were peaceful. We had a little something going on. But truthfully, have we ever really been happy? And have we ever been done right under any of these systems that we're under? And so it was time for them all to start coming under a season of judgment. The whole system itself is being judged and is going under a very turbulent time. And all people is begging for is for the good old days back. But the good old days just quieted us and gave us a semblance of peace and security under a system, though. The people aren't used to what it would feel like to be free because we've never been free. None of us, for generations, we haven't experienced that. So, what does it look like being your own sovereign person? For a lot of people, they don't like it because, look, without benefits, people were in an uproar with trying to figure out how they're going to have provisions for their families without the government helping. Now, that's sad. I empathize, but that's a problem. It's a problem. And as sad as it is, it's a reality check that we're in a bad state. And if you think that we were better off when the world was business as usual, benefits were flowing, and there was no upset, then just think about the minute that the government decides to tamper with them because they have the right to do so. So you are never safe as long as you are under somebody else's provision. The only way you're safe is if you know how to survive on your own, because that's your sovereign right to live and to survive in this earth on your own. And if the government decided to take it all away, do you know how to make a dime on your own? Do you know how to get access to food? Do you know how to cook? Do you know what plants around you are edible and are not? It's just like, if you think about it, the yoke of oppression is your own if you're under oppression. And the only oppression that the spirits will support is the kind where you don't consent anymore. Where you're saying, now, I don't want to entertain their systems. And in reality, they're being impressed upon me because truly all I did was be born. And they gave me a birth certificate and said I was theirs. But if you start to say, I don't agree with none of this bullshit, and if it falls, it falls, I'll figure it out. The spirits will support you in that, and they will make sure that you are okay. I've lived that way my entire life, and I'm okay. I don't fear or fret when things happen because I know where my power lies. And so there's only a certain amount of oppression that I'm ever going to be under, and I'm always going to look and find a way to empower myself out of it. And there's a certain amount of it that I know I'm going to have to die with, and that's okay. But for the most part, I spend every day taking my power back and figuring it out. And I do. And I've become a powerful entity in my own. I work for myself, and I've made more money for myself since I've been a contractor and an entrepreneur than I have my entire time in HR, salaried. I haven't failed once I learned and then applied the knowledge that I learned, not just hear it and nod my head, but apply it. And the spirits have supported me. And when I say that the system is coming against me in a way that I didn't give them consent to, and I tell the spirits to make them back off, I'll be straight. I'll be all right. I'll be good. So I don't know how we got from Soulja Slim to that, but that's what the spirits say about whether we'll ever be able to stand up without them trying to knock us down. And I don't even think I got the answer. Yes or no? Shit. Energy is currency, yes. Will that day come where all of us don't have to be afraid of being persecuted when we say no more? Because if it's not right, then it's not right. If I'm doing business with the government, then sure. Square biz is square biz. But the systems that they institute that I believe are wrong and are infringing upon our rights as human beings, including not giving us the opportunity when we're 18 to review the Constitution and our rights and then make a decision of our citizenship then. Everybody loves me, Izzy. Will we ever reach the day where we won't be so persecuted when we do have courage? Not for a long time. Not for a long, 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 long time. If the powers that be can help it, that day will never come. And when you're not in numbers, it's easier to pick off the ones that do stand up. When the majority is saying, help us and we'll give you our rights if you give us comfort. And then one person is saying, shit, I ain't bound to these people. I'll go out here and find my own comforts. And they say, oh, you wanna be a wise ninja. You think you're a smart ninja, huh? It's difficult to do when 10 is saying yes, massa, and 1 is saying, excuse me? Because the one that say yes, massa, they gonna snitch on you. They gonna make it. They gonna bully you too, because they don't want you making it hard for them. I will also say that there is a religious movement coming that has an agenda behind it. It's the OG one. It's the popular one. But I told you guys last year that it was circling the block and it was a movement, an agenda behind it. Izzy, you know what I'm talking about. It has an agenda behind it. And it it will be welcomed. It will be the influencer religion as it is already becoming. Oh, yes, Jess. That has an agenda behind it because that religion keeps the system going and it keeps the people complicit. And that's where the majority is. So the lone characters, the ones who walk the narrow path, will always be targets for the foreseeable future because the majority, they're either still, the majority will be swept back into that religious movement. What's your question? It's already in the works. They've already got celebrities on it, influencers, things like that, people in public platforms. They're already commingling that religion back into the industry. I've never seen it so mainstream. Back in the day, there was a gospel industry and it was big. You know, we had Bobby Jones gospel, BET gospel, Sunday programs, all of that. But it had its own place within the industry. The industry was always, I won't say anti Christian, but they wanted to turn up. And the Jesus people had Sunday. And you can thank God when you got your award, but everybody knew that the industry was full of debauchery and nobody was in there praising the Lord outside for the Sunday crew and crowd and the late night infomercials that came on at 3 a.m. That's why they put them on at 3 a.m., not in the regular programming. That religion is coming back as a part of an agenda because it keeps you guys complicit and it will keep your consciousness from evolving. Like the age of Aquarius will be trying to work to get it to do. It was created for a reason. It was created for a reason, an enterprising reason. And it did not serve a purpose to be platformed mainstream for that message to become industrialized in the industry. But now he's here and he's a celebrity. He's the celebrity now. Agenda, please. What is the agenda? Oh. I'm sorry, but first of all, that religious group will make it easier to spot the awakened. And then they will pluck us out one by one, or they will attempt to either pluck us out or isolate and ostracize us like they did back in the day. And the Black community is still in the grasp of what they believe to be evil and those that they believe to practice evil. Oh, they are coming back for our necks. And by platforming and mainstreaming and giving celebrity to that religion, it will make it easier to point out and bully and ostracize the light bearers, the ones who are awakened. They'll start calling the spiritual community. I told y'all this 2 years ago. I said the spiritual community would be under attack again. And I told the girlies out here that's doing this out here publicly to be prepared. It is coming. That is what the Jesus agenda is going to do. The platforming, the celebritizing of Christianity. Because with the millennials, the ancients return, the awakening happened. That's what caused the tear down of the systems and the judgment they are facing. They need us out. They need us to stop talking, stop spreading. They need our energy gone. So it'll be easier to control the people. Oh, yes. And if being a Christian is even more popular now because the industry is behind it, even more popular than it's ever been, oh, it's going to be easy for everybody else who has stepped out of that bondage. Easy for us to be pointed out and persecuted and ostracized and bullied by the masses now, because now it's a trend. It's going to be a trend, and they're going to use it to point us out, and they're going to use it to come after us. And by us, if I have any of my workers, and that all of us be workers of the veil. Oh, oh yes. Oh yes. The agenda is never what it looks like on the outside. They're looking for us. They're looking for people like me. By spreading the celebrity, yes, they are coming. The Spanish Inquisition all over again. It's just like when Trump became president and then everybody was divided, even family, friends, lovers. We don't talk to any Trumpers. Watch. It's going to be just like that now. If anybody is not a part of one of the big three, Abrahamic, with Christianity leading the way. Oh. This Pope, he's been quiet ever since he was elected, but he has a purpose. He's going to pop out later. He has a purpose and a time to get active. But we have to be out of the way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And what else? Mm-hmm. Message to the keepers of the light. Hold it steady. Hold it steady. Because there is going to be a final push of energy that we give off before we go underground. This will not be like the times before. We will, I actually want to say, be called up. I mean, not float into the sky literally, but our works, something about them will go underground at some point. Some will be made an example out of. They will persecute some of us from the spiritual community, but they will pluck from the spiritual community. They won't touch the gatekeepers, the real keepers of the light. And there's a difference. So if you guys have been making a living and a name and a celebrity for yourself off of the spiritual community because it's been easy to do so, but you are not a keeper of the light, when they come, they'll be able to prey on you guys, because the spirits will even start choosing. It's survival. It's another time of spiritual warfare. And so even the spirits that was fool-la-la with y'all and allowing y'all to, peek in the blinds here and, do a little, this and this here, they will abandon you when the system comes, and they will rally behind the keepers of the light, the ones who are actually holding the light in this world. Not fool-la-la-ing, but holding the light in this world. The ones with their boots on the ground, the ones doing the work, the ones bearing the mantle of the ancestors. And it ain't pretty bearing that mantle all the time. We're the ones that they really want, but it won't be like the times before. They won't be able to do us like they've done in the past. But the time will come, and we will have to, once we see that happening, once we see them coming for the ones in the community and make an example out of them, that's why we'll go underground with our works. Some people will stop taking clients unless you already on their books. Some people will be ran off of platforms. Let me ask if I'm going to be one of them. Spirit, will I be ran off of Beyond the Veil out of fear for my spiritual wits when the day comes of the persecution of the veil? When they try to rip it, they're going to try to get rid of the whole veil. Will I be ran off of my platform? Whichever one I'm on. Will they run me off? Mm. Mm. I'll probably still have a platform, but my content will change. I would probably invest more into membership content. Yes. I think I shall. I don't know. I might survive. I see some persecution. I definitely do. I see my lives being looked at too. I see as soon as I go on live, somebody run in here. Who is this that runs in here as soon as I go live? And I see some persecution, but I will survive. Oh, as long as I know how to adapt, I know I'll stay. I will probably at some point change a lot of my content. And I already have. I already feel like I give my most valuable work to my members' lives, which is why I do my reclaiming series there. And I fool la la over here. It will become a labor of love, though, something that I don't enjoy as much anymore. Oh, oh no. Um, no. Okay, I'm sorry. I was asking a personal question. All right, I'm about to go. I've attracted the trolls, and I actually see them coming in my reading. When I said, "Who is that rush in here?" Soon as I go live, and then I looked up and saw the new trolls in here. Read them as soon as they come in here. Uh-huh. I see I said some things tonight that when I was talking about the agenda behind the push behind the popularizing the mainstream of that religion. I'm about to log off. So I appreciate you guys for joining me tonight. Shout out to Soulja Slim. No. All right. Well, no need to rebuke them anymore. I shall depart. Tomorrow is Monday and I got stuff to do. Love you guys too. I shall be back tomorrow and we'll do a members live tomorrow. Okay, love you. Bye.